Hi, welcome to On-Demand Training from the Office of Online and Distance Learning. Today we're going to look at how we can embed library resources right into Canvas to help our students find the information that they need without having to leave the Canvas learning management system. Let's get started. Okay, so here I am in my sandbox and I'm going to pop on over to modules. Now I can embed the information into an assignment. I can embed it into a page, wherever you need to put this. You could even put it in a question in a quiz if you need to. But I'm going to start out, let's just, and it doesn't matter what module I'm in, I'm going to create a page. And I'm going to call this page, library content. Okay, so we've got a blank page and we'll go ahead and edit that page. And on our toolbar here, we're going to pass the YouTube, pass the Vimeo, and select the down triangle for the more external tools. And we've got a few tools that the library gives us that we can embed right into Canvas. And the first one is, let's take a look at Films on Demand. Films on Demand is a great resource for not just, movie type films, but films about your content. So for example, I teach a business tools. So let's look at maybe the history of Microsoft, because we're going to be using a lot of Microsoft tools in this course. And let's see what comes up with. And there you go. We've got some things about spreadsheets, word processing, introduction to 2007 PowerPoint. Let's just choose one of these. Now we can preview it to see what it's all about before we commit to it, or we can select embed. And you'll notice that you have your choice of embed the URL so that they have to click on it and actually go to it. I don't recommend that. I do recommend that you use either medium or a large embed. Now if this is going to be the only content on this page, then let's go ahead and embed large and see what that looks like. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save this page. And then I'm going to go back home and let's view this as a student. So I'll go to modules and I'm going to select that. Oops, I didn't publish the page. I thought I did. Okay, so this is another reason why I always go into student view to see what it looks like. I did forget to publish, so I'm going to go ahead and select that little publish there. And now I'm going to try that again. I always at the end of a module go through and make sure that everything that I want the student to be able to see, my test student can actually see. So now I can go to modules, and there it is, library content. And we see that the video is right there. It's large enough for them to view. It's viewable again on their Canvas Teams or the Canvas app. So that's really cool. Let's go ahead and start playing this. And you see how quickly that happens. And what it does is it actually embeds their ability, because they're a Carson-Newman student, to go right into this resource that our library pays for. So let's take a look at another resource by the library. So I'm out of my student view and I'm going to go back to modules, and this time like I said, you can do assignments, quizzes. So I'm going to do an assignment this time, and it's going to be a new assignment, and I'll do this one on British, maybe if I can spell British Lit. Okay, and I'll go ahead and add that. And let's go in and look at the assignment. There is no assignment yet. So part of this assignment is I want them to watch this video and then maybe do a reflection paper. you know, I'm going to put all of the instructions before the video, because a lot of times, especially if I'm embedding it very large, it's going to go underneath there. So reflection paper. Okay, I'm not going to do all of them, but you get the point. I'm going to get to that the exact same way, only this time, instead of using Films on Demand, I'm going to select Alexander Street Video, which is a database of all sorts of videos out there. Now, some of them are only previews because it might come from another site that we don't actually have access to, but you'll know that. Let's look at Oliver. And there's Oliver Twist, and we can embed. And there we've got the video already embedded right into our assignment. And again, we would give it the points that we would need and the due dates and all of that. But I'm just going to go ahead and save and publish it so we can go back and look at it again in the student view. So home and student view, modules, British literature. Okay, again, they're seeing the instructions above the video, and now we can go ahead and watch the video. So it's pretty simple to add your library content right from here. Now, let's look at one more source from the library, and we'll go in and let's do a discussion this time. Again, I'm just trying to point out that once you're in the editor, it doesn't matter where in Canvas you are, it's all done the same. So we're going to call this discussion communication. Whoops. Okay, my keyboard's way down below and I'm standing up, so it's a little difficult. But let's go ahead and take a look at communication and how we can embed some reading materials inside of Canvas. So I'm going to go ahead and edit. Again, it's the same thing. And I'm going to select content this time instead of the video from Alexander Street. Now, I have noticed that in Google Chrome, you have to make sure that you go into your cookie preferences before you do your search. Okay, and you want to make sure that everything is selected. Okay, function is allowed. Advertising is allowed. You want to select everything and submit those preferences before you move on. Okay, and now we'll go in and let's do business communications and see what we come up with. And you'll find that Alexander Street has a ton of content, but what it usually comes up with first is the movies, and then towards the end of the content, it comes up with actual text. And I see that mine is not going to come up this time, and it does that quite often. So if you have Firefox, which is not really a recommended browser for Canvas, it does seem to work inside of Firefox. So let's go ahead and look at a module where I have already inserted some test Alexander Street content. Now, I unfortunately, when I did the embed of this content, I made it very small. I would recommend that you always choose large, because you see how tiny the reading is, the reading materials are. So let's go ahead, and this wasn't communications, this was something else, but I'm going to go ahead and select one of the chapters. And it does take a second for it to come up. And and it's showing me that what page I'm on out of how many different pages are in this particular book. And there we go. Okay, so it does bring up the text information as well. The beauty of embedding things from the library into Canvas, again, is that they stay inside of Canvas. They stay focused on their learning. It's very easy when you take them back out of Canvas for them to be distracted and go on to other things. So we're always going to be adding new things to Canvas on how to embed from the library. I've got one more to show you and we're done with this training. I'm going to switch back over to the Google Chrome, and you notice the little sad face that I've got on that because the Google Chrome didn't work for me with Alexander Street. Just be patient. You might have to do a couple of different things, but usually it has something to do with those cookies. And I think I have my settings up too high on my Google Chrome because that's what I use all the time. Anyways, let's go back to modules, and this embed is just a little bit different. This is allowing you to do the super search that you would normally do when you were actually at the library site when you're looking for a title. And you're going to do this inside of a module. You'll select the plus link. And instead of assignments, instead of quizzes, you're actually going to select external tool here. And you see that we've got the same external tools that we had before, only now I'm going to come all the way down to the library super search. And it's going to log me in. And it looks very familiar. It's our Carson-Newman library page. And this time, if I do that business communications, let's see what we get. Okay, we get a lot of results from that search. But as I'm going through it, you'll notice that the videos always seem to pop up first. But there's a business communications ebook, and let's pretend that that's the one I want. So I can go ahead and add this. It adds it, and now I'm going to select add item again, which is a little bit tricky because you're thinking, well, didn't I just select that? But that's a confirmation. And you'll see that now we've got business communications link, and well, I want to make sure that we publish that. So let's, we've got that published. Now I'm going to go back as the student, take a look at the student view, modules. Sorry, I used the scroll bar on my mouse and it was bouncing up and down there. And you'll see the link business communication. And now when the student selects that, they should be able to go in and see it. Now, there is a little bit of an issue sometimes with the student view with external sources because it doesn't know who our test student is. But in this case, it lets it happen because I'm on campus, and there it found the book, and all they have to do is select the PDF for the full text, and it embeds it again right in Canvas. So I hope you've enjoyed this training, this on-demand training about inserting library content into Canvas. We'll see you next time.